Apples and I in our matching purple lightsaber pictures.
Yes. All right, Apples, let us know when you can see and hear us. We are live.
Can you see us? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
And
Anyways.
I just tweeted that out as well.
Yay. All right, we're yay. So.
Aye.
Aye?
Yeah.
All right.
Aye.
So, who wants to do a crazy announcement, which would not be true?
All right.
Because I like Rift.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Do we need to add a Rift section, that Rift Prime thing?
Or we could just do what Apples is doing in game, you know.
Yeah, that would fit
Apples,
there.
wow, Abavan, wow.
Apples is not here. And he told
you're missing your Canadians and your Pennsylvanians.
Well, you know, it's 6 letters. It starts with the same. There's an O.
There's an O. Yeah.
Right.
I could totally see where you're going there.
It's
yes, there's an A, and he's Canadian, and you get the connection.
And it's 3 syllables, and I mean, at least I didn't add Arcelon in there.
Apples.
Well, back in the day, we used to play on SWTOR together. We used to have the Apples would tank for me, and I would heal him, and we do these Apples and Abavan runs. We just confuse the crap out of everybody.
Yeah, you just actually you need the combined name of Abolas.
Yeah.
Anyways, should we start
this thing? This funny show.
Yes.
All right, going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on this episode of the AIE Podcast.
DOA for fools.
Command authority push back.
STO on the beach.
There's a bug in Guild Wars 2.
Just one. And we have Abovan, who is here to talk to us about AIE and Final Fantasy XIV. Shocker.
Woo! All that and more coming up now. Welcome to episode 294 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alia Octa Est gaming community, the Die Hasman podcast. I'm Makala. To my left, downstairs, is Tetsemi.
More spreadsheets. Need more spreadsheets.
Well, you can make a spreadsheet of our Disney-bound costumes and what I still need to get for you and the kid.
That would actually be useful, yes.
We should actually do that. All right. And to my virtual right is Mew Cow.
Greetings, gamers.
And this week we are joined by the fabulous Abavan, who is here to talk to us about AIE in Final Fantasy XIV. Welcome.
Hi. How you guys doing?
Hi.
Good. How are you doing?
Groovy.
Ooh. So we are going to go ahead and do the news and chat with Abavan in a few minutes. At first, guys, what have you been doing in and out of game? Tet, what are you up to?
I have been stealing Mew's alt-itis and applying it liberally everywhere. No, I worked on, and I blame Shoujo Beat 100% for this.
Hashtag blame Shoujo.
Yep. I got all my WoW professions to 800 to get the achievement. Good Lord. Some of those professions, the amount of materials and what you need to do to get each one to 800 so widely skews from profession to profession. It's ridiculous. If you have a raid team member that supplies cauldrons or potions of power for the raid team, do them a huge favor and send them Legion herbs every week. I know Ben the Mage and Seisri are spending a bunch on this, but good Lord, alchemy seems like the worst for material costs, followed closely by cooking.
Really?
Yeah, because Manny supplies the feasts for our the raid team, and the fish are fine. You can get, everyone get fish off the auction house. Bacon, on the other hand, is only available through the World Quest. You only get 15 at a time.
Yep.
So that's the expensive piece of it. So if the World Quest is up and bacon's on the menu, go do that and send it to your cook.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's a great piece of advice.
Yep.
You, what have you been doing? I'm sorry, Ted, anything out of game?
We survived our D&D paper campaign and made it to level 4 without anyone dying.
Not yet. We have to get out of this cave first.
Well, we'll get there.
We'll get there. And we had to do D&D math this morning, which we probably shouldn't do D&D math before coffee.
No. So that's what I've been up to.
Hey, Mew, what have you been up to in and out of game?
Well, of course, the same bits of Altitus and WoW. Actually, since my main raid team, Fert, now has Argus taken care of. I've been able to start focusing on some of my alts. I got a Warlock to 110, and almost all the way through all the fun stuff that you're supposed to do with their class halls. Some interesting stories for the Warlock stuff. They're their own little floating world out there somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's been fun. Also did the Trial of Style. Managed to get first place on my first try, so I was like, wow, okay, I guess I'm done. I'm just gonna walk away with that,
Nice. Sashay away.
Yes, exactly.
That
and the Feral Druid's leather, so I only liked one of those sets, so I went ahead and grabbed the one I liked, and I was done. Other than that, spending a lot of time in ESO. That's the old new hotness. So their revamp has really made that game a lot more fun. And we have a little bit of news about that later on. But spending a lot of time trying to get something leveled up in there, it takes a while. I'm only level 42 out of 50, and that doesn't count the they have the Paragon system as well. So you can get another 200 levels or something crazy like that after you get to 50. But I'm trying to get at least one character to 50 because everything there scales, and you make a lot more money at 50, et cetera, et cetera. Once I get that linchpin character, then I'll be good to go. Cool. Other than that, a bit of stuff in Final Fantasy 14 we'll talk about once we're in that section, and that's about it. Oh, and I did put together just today or yesterday and today a neat little outdoor gym for X.
I saw the picture of you of him on his new swing. It was adorable.
Yes, he was very happy. Yes. So now we can just open the back door and say, "Go forth, tire yourself out."
And toddler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Abavan, what have you been doing in and out of game? Besides hurting toddlers, which is what you do, especially because you're outnumbered.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm definitely outnumbered, especially when we go see their cousins. Then it's even less zone defense because with just to give some quick background of the whole Abavan extended family, like biological family. I have 2 kids. They are twins. Mm-hmm. About a month before them, my sister had a kid. Mm-hmm. About a month after them, my sister-in-law had a kid. So no matter what side of the family they go visit, they have friends their age.
Right.
Right. Which is great.
Yeah. So the holidays around either family is loud. Very loud.
No, can't do it. Wow.
I can't wait until I start training. They're old enough for me to start teaching them how to play video games.
Yeah, definitely. They can farm for you. Yeah. They can take care of trash fights for you. Oh my gosh, yeah. In
fact, 2 weeks ago, I was teaching my one niece, because she's a big Star Wars fan. I have my laptop with me. I started teaching her how to play SWTOR.
Yes.
It didn't work too well, but at least she was able to get the walking through, and she clicked on people. Then she forgot that she actually had to press buttons to actually swing her lightsaber around.
Right.
But baby steps.
Start her young. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah. So hopefully my kids will get to that point and will love them like I do. But what have I been doing here?
Yeah.
So Final Fantasy 14. I'm playing that, obviously.
Heard of that.
Been doing a lot of the towards the end game dungeons, trying to get my gear score up a bit because I've been bouncing around with job-itis because I'm trying to level everything up so I could actually start saving bag space. Get into that later. So I'm working on that for a little bit. Simultaneously, I've been playing Final Fantasy Dissidia, whatever it's called on iOS.
Yeah,
is it NT on iOS?
on iOS, I forget what they call
the
that.
iOS one. Yeah, I forget the one it is. It's kind of fun. I actually just completed the campaign that's out right now today. So, yay me.
Congrats.
There is a co-op portions of the game that you can play with friends, and I would invite you guys, hit me up on the Twitters if you guys want to check that out at all. It actually is kind of fun. It's very simple, very casual, but it's fun. So cool. So I've been playing that simultaneously as I'm doing Final Fantasy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also, for those who've been in AIE for quite a while, we did dabble in another game that sort of did a, let's call it a relaunch, where they made a progression server, and that game is called Rift. And for those who remember way back, we did have a little chapter in there for some time. So what they did now is they opened up for people who subscribe to the game or are a patron member or whatever they want to call it. They created a progression server, the game as it existed on release, and then over time they're going to release the patches and the expansions and so forth. So
Awesome.
I've been playing that. It has the old school feel.
Okay.
It sounds like something that EverQuest did.
It's similar to that. But they did such things such as the experience grind is real. No hold handing, no experience bonuses, no something like that. I am running out of quest. Now in 2 levels I get to start doing dungeons, and I rolled a tank, so therefore I have no queue.
Right.
Right. So, I was gonna say, this sounds like a combination of EverQuest and vanilla WoW put together.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, but it kept all the quality of life things that we are accustomed to today.
Okay.
So it has their version of housing, which is dimensions. It has all the modern computing feature sets, multi-core and using DirectX 11, 12, 14 and a half times pi 2, whatever it may be. It's using but it doesn't have it has like the costume sets there, whatever, for those who like dressing up, but doesn't have the other things such as the instant adventures as they call it, because that wasn't in the game at release, because that's a whole different side of content and story type stuff going on there. But for playing a game, it does have that old school feel. Go around, get quests, kill monsters. Surprise rift. Oh, here's a surprise invasion. Let's go do that. Oh, cool. All right, time to get my professions up. All right, time for me to make 500 pairs of boots.
Right.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's fun, and it's there's one server they're doing this on, and it's jam packed.
Is it buy to play, free to play, subscription? You
need to play on the server. You need to have a Patreon. You can subscribe to be a Patreon, or you can buy it ad hoc, or you can buy packs that have so many days of Patreon. I picked up a $30 pack, which gets me amount, titles, certain unit frames, and 2 15-day codes to give away. I've given one away, and I might use the other one, or I might give it to a family member or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah. So, the Patreon, if you do it month to month, is $15. If you do it for a full year, it drops a lot.
Cool.
But that's
very cool.
They want you to spend money.
Yeah, they want you to pay ahead of time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the end of the day,
obviously.
that.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it, and that's I'm getting more than. I'm having more fun than I thought I would have with it, which is important. If you're playing a game and you hate it,
then don't do it.
I forgot. Why are you doing that?
Exactly.
You hear that, all you LoL players? You hear that? You hate the game so much. Why are you playing
it? Yeah, definitely.
And I'm so invested.
I know. So, McCullough, what have you been up to?
Oh, about 4'10".
But I'm ching.
Old joke. Okay, 5'1", one of my favorite heels. So let's see. We actually, Monday night game, as Pat mentioned, we had our in-person D&D games. I play in several games. This is the only one that's in person. It's really great because our DM kind of jumped headfirst into it. She had never DM'd before. She played like a few sessions of an RPG. And she's like, I can do this. This is fine. So having a blast with that. We're almost done through the Lost Mines of Philander. So that's a good time. Then we're actually going to a homebrew, and she kind of surprised us last week with something we were not expecting during the boss battle.
Yeah.
So that was a really good time. Yes. Yep. Actually, this is not the Mooning Priest. This is the mysterious rogue in my case.
Yes.
My Mooning Priest is on pause right now because we're waiting because the DM is waiting to kind of just sit down and do some written stuff with each of the characters, and then we'll group up again. Wednesday, I'm actually in a group with some tadpoolers, and we actually played, and this was like the first time we played in a month. Just due to real life, it's been crazy. So we did that. We are doing Storm King's Thunder, and our DM kind of had to like, yeah, I think we're going to take things off the rails soon. I'm like, that's good. I like off the rails when it comes to gaming. So that's about it gaming wise. The last few weeks we had no D&D on the weekend and no World of Darkness on the weekend. I don't know. It was the storyteller and her husband's anniversary, so they decided they did some personal time and took a little trip. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Gets in the way of gaming. But no, it was a really good time. So that's pretty much where I am now. As we mentioned, Tet and I are getting ready for a Disneyland trip in a few weeks. And we are also, my business partner and I are gearing up for con. So that means in the last week, we've completed a few dozen headbands. We have our plan figured out for what we're going to do up until Memorial Day weekend when the con is. Plus, we finally found Hogwarts fabrics. Yeah. And that's something that people asking for us for years. So I'm making Hogwarts headbands.
Which is awesome.
Yes, dear.
No, it's awesome that you're making the different school headbands.
Yep. Sorry.
People have been asking for those.
Oh, yeah, I know. Sorry, you said so I thought that got derailed. So that's what I've been kind of up to geek-wise, and working and cooking and baking and all of that, because I can't go without having a few
social gatherings
a week. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so most of them geeky though, at least. So we're going to be digging into Final Fantasy 14 with Avo shortly, but guys, you want to do this week's news?
Yep.
Sure, why not?
Let's do that.
AIE News.
All right. Just a reminder for folks looking for AIE and other games, there are some folks active in the division. Check out a thread that is become active recently in our forums and looking for other division players in AIE. And in ESO news, the next season of Crown Crates, the Scalar Caller Crate, is coming out on March 15th. Your last chance to buy the current crate, the Flame Atronach, is on March 14th, so get them while you can. Also, if you hurry and log in today and kill at least one monster deserving of such a fate, you can get one free crate from the upcoming season.
Ooh.
Yep. It's been the whole weekend. So yesterday and I think Friday, if you killed something, you got a free crate for those days too. But yep, get on there quick before it goes. Alrighty, and in Nomads news, just a reminder that there is a new season in Diablo 3, so jump into the AE community in Diablo 3 and start rocking that seasonal character for rewards and profits. And don't forget, any Paragon levels you achieve during the season are added to your non-seasonal characters at the end of the season. So don't just stop when you hit 70, keep going and benefit all your characters.
Awesome. And in WoW news, April Fool's Day is coming up, which is always a scary thing, especially around Blizzard games and sometimes at AIE. And DOA is hosting, DOA, by the way, is Dojo of Awesome. That's why I thought Shoujo was in DOA.
Right.
Shoujo rhymes with Dojo. Anyways,
yes.
So DOA is hosting a huge April Fool's by taking extra guild members until they hit the raid cap. Message Sai in-game or on Discord for more information. And don't forget the Fool's Rush In challenge that Gusty Tale had issued to the community and now is extended to the first week of April. Play a character, class that you're the least familiar with, team up with friends, and do dungeons and LFRs. That information is in the AIE forums in the WoW section under April Fool's Rush In challenge. And did you do that trial of style? Because you know you did. Did you make it to Gusty Tale's transmog swap last weekend into the trial before the trial of style? If you did, let us know and let us know how you did. We'd love to report on that. Post pictures in the forums, in Discord, tweet them out. We want to see that great AIE fashion.
Yep. And in SWTOR news, patch 5.8 Command Authority, which was supposed to launch this Tuesday, has been pushed back a week to March 20th. This will bring with it the final boss, Isaacs the Destroyer. If you defeat it on the hardest difficulty, you'll get a new achievement, a special and unique title, and a quote-unquote very enticing legacy-based reward. More information will be up on the SWTOR.com site when the patch launches. And speaking of patch 5.8, it also brings the new Conquest update as laid out in the forum post available in the show notes. The biggest shift is going to be how your stronghold bonus is determined. No longer do you need to fill the stronghold with chairs to get 100% bonus. You just need to unlock all the rooms in the stronghold for it to count towards the stronghold bonuses. I think Max is going to have an unchairing in some of his strongholds. Also, speaking of mandatory fun night, where attendance is optional but fun is mandatory, come hear Max's tales of how the Imperial Explosive Combat storyline goes on March 13th, on the Imperial side, of course, and on March 20th, join us on the Republic side for Tales from Karaga's Palace. If you haven't heard Storytime by Max or had Corley read Codex entries to us, you're missing out. And in Escape Podcast news, Escape Podcast 232, did I mention Best Duelist? This week, Seema, Max, and Astromech EPC 232 discuss the coming Conquest updates, which we just talked about, while our Sork sets out to get an Ashara trap set on Taurus. And in Escape Podcast 233, we have questions. This week, Seema and Max talk about the upcoming update clarifications in the news and continue their Sork adventures, moving on to Quesh, which is why they're questions.
Yes. So those not reading the show notes are not familiar with it. Questions is spelled Questions because Quesh is spelled Quesh.
Yep.
In Final Fantasy XIV news, see the game news below. So we'll be talking about that later. But in STO news, Into the Beach event is currently going on. Completing the event 14 times gets you a special ship console. Lifetime subscriptions are also on sale now until early April. $100 off the lifetime subscription. Definitely worth it. Fleet holdings and are making a good progress. K13 station is closing in on unlocking Tier 1. While we are closing in on finishing the final stage for the Fleet Research Lab.
And in Eve news, no major news to report. Move up should be over as things are getting back to normal. I mean, as normal as having a Russian bell for your friend is. Also, as a follow-up to last week, sorry for the bad accent, guys, I had to. Also, as a follow-up to last week's show, the Focus and Eve have started a mentoring program and are taking in new pilots under their wings to show them how to force an enemy infrastructure into reinforcement mode so it can be destroyed afterwards. 3 enemy bases were attacked, and a good time was had by all. Well, of course. Did they bring the Russian bears?
Yeah. No bears. All right. And in Guild Wars 2 news, Season 4, Episode 2, A Bug in the System, was released. New map and new story chapter, but we can't say much more than that because it'll be slightly spoilery. Oh, and there is a new legendary dagger, the Claw of Khan-Ur, an item of great lore importance to the Char and very cool.
Awesome. So, we've gotten through the news. Let's get back to Abivan and find out what's going on in Final Fantasy XIV. Hey, Abivan.
Hi.
What's going on in Final Fantasy XIV?
Very, very fantasy-ish. So, for those, I'm trying to remember the last time I was on the podcast here. I think we were talking about the tail end of patch 4.1 and going into patch 4.2. So, 4.2,
I think that's about right.
And it added a bunch of new stuff to the game. standard patch stuff that we see in the Final Fantasy 14 series. They added on to the main story quest line. They've added a few quality of life features on here. Things they've added. They added a new 8-player raid. So it's like the second major tier of high-end raiding. This one's called Delta Escape. First one's Alpha Escape. Now it's Delta Escape. There we go. But this one's has a Final Fantasy 16 to it. So for those who played the second, if you never really looked at Final Fantasy games past Super Nintendo, the second one that they put out in the U.S. for Super Nintendo, that's the one with Terra and Locke and all them fighting against Kefka and all his cronies. So they have a whole raid theme that's themed around that. So that's very cool and very nostalgic if you played those games back in the day. Both a story mode and the Savage modes are available for that one. So if you want the easy mode or the hard mode. Got 2 new 4-man dungeons out there. We have a new weekly quest for the fashion report, which you get dressed to a theme, you go talk to an NPC, and then he judges you. And then you get rewarded based on how well you achieve the theme or not.
Yep, and I definitely recommend that if you are trying to get anything in the gold saucer, do this every week because it is an automatic 10,000 gold saucer points, regardless of how well you do. They just want you participating. So the trick is they're trying to get you to use the new transmog system, which is pretty pricey. So that you're kind of like you're spending gold to make gold saucer points in a weird kind of way, but highly recommended. And their transmog, their version of Trial of Style, which they do every week, is very intense. They're not just looking for like the main thing he asks you for is like about 5 pieces of your outfit need to match a certain thing. But what he doesn't tell you is that everything else needs to go along with that as well. Even if he's not calling out those pieces, right? It's like he may not talk about the hat, but you need a hat that matches what everything else is you're wearing.
Got it. So it needs to match those things, and then the other pieces need to match what else you have. That makes actually, you know what? No, I am down with this. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, he is very, very critical. That's the NPC.
Okay. Yeah, and he doesn't mince words either.
No. Like if you don't make at least a very decent effort, he's like, "Oh, I see you've defecated on my theme this week." It's like, holy cow,
God.
Dude.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, he's very critical, but it's a lot of fun, and I've seen there's actually a Reddit, of course, the Final Fantasy 14 Reddit has a lot of discussion about this. Everyone's trying to help. It's kind of like how the WoW community, when they find those secrets. Those secret things out in the world. It's that same kind of setup where everyone is like basically brute forcing this with all their alts, trying to figure out what the perfect outfit is so you can get that 100. But yeah, it's pretty intense, pretty exciting. So I mean, it seems to be working out pretty well.
Very fun.
All right. I just noticed I didn't have my pop filter on, so this might sound better. So you want to hear every P I have. Now there's a pop filter. Yeah. All right. Submarines have been added to the game. What is a submarine? Well, it's a little ship that can go underwater.
Yeah.
In this game, we can build it as a free company. So you don't build a solo. You do it as we will build an AIE sub, and it can go out and run missions and bring back craft materials for us. We already have something similar. We have an airship that can do that. We have the FC airship, the Ralph, that goes out every couple of days and goes out and gets the stuff and brings the stuff back for crafting and eventually to craft up buffs and other things that can help out the free company as a whole. Anyone in the free company can contribute the required materials to help build these ships. We're currently working on the submarine right now, and you just go down to the workshop in the free company house. You click on the board and you can see what it requires, or you can hit Control U, press the S8 tab, and it'll tell you what you need anywhere in the game world.
Yep, and if you are a crafter of almost any level, I believe, every now and then there'll be a call saying, "Hey, we need crafters," and then you basically join a light party, and then they craft another piece of the ship we're currently working on.
Yeah. We need 4 people in a party to push the thing going forward. But as long as you don't have to be in a party to turn in the materials. You just have to be the requirements, which are listed in that little window. Other odd things that's been happening in the game here. Elemental resistances have been removed from the game finally. It was never a thing, but now they finally got rid of all the junk items and all the junk stats on there. So, hooray! No need for that.
And interestingly enough, we don't have this here. So, like, if you still happen to have those old resistance potions, they turned into dyes.
Yes.
So, if you happen to have like a potion of water resistance, it turned into a blue dye, so you can just use it on your clothing.
Okay.
So instead of it just
Very
being
cool,
it became useful. So
yeah. Also remember, in addition to the whole idea, glamoring all your stuff, if it's dyeable, you would actually put the dye on the piece of the gear you want the thing to look like, and you apply the glamour to that. So then you'll pull in the item and the color. So just keep that in mind when you're looking to create your look.
Yep, yeah, because it's kind of interesting because you can either pre-color it or you can leave it its default state, either one, and then you add it to the glamour system. Well, then when you glamour it onto yourself, you can recolor the active glamour too. So, like if you like having this, this thing red, but for this one outfit you want it to be pink instead, well, you can do it for just the outfit, but you leave the main one red. So it's kind of neat.
That's a great system, yeah.
Yeah. I use I primarily use the glamour system to. So there's no question on, because I wear a different hat based on what class I have. Period. That I'm in as, so I can look at my own mind's eye. I know what I have on there. It's just my own little system.
Yep.
It makes no sense.
No, it makes perfect sense, honestly. Yeah, because like especially like for a class like Scholar versus Summoner, it's technically the same primary class, and they wear the same clothing for the most part. So you might forget, oh no, I this is my healer. Oops, I shouldn't be trying to do my damage. Oh, I'm in the damage healer. Why am I trying to heal? It's easy to get confused when at least those two. But makes sense.
All right, stackable items. When it goes from 99 to 999.
Woo-hoo.
Let your bags rejoice, and by bags I mean your sacks, because that's what we call them in AIE, right?
Right.
All right. In addition to your inventory, Chocobo Saddle bags are available. So it's like a mobile bank that you can put stuff into and then get them out of your main sacks. Hooray.
That's great. This is great for inventory management.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of like, and you can use them exactly like actual saddlebags. Like you're supposed to use it when you're out like gathering, or if you're just out just kind of doing stuff out in the open. But you can't access them when you're in a dungeon because your Chocobo can't go in there. It makes perfect sense. So, yeah, it's great. They did a good job on that.
Okay. Also new, the duty recorder.
You said duty.
I did duty. There's a lot of duty in this game. We're 12. So the duty recorder, you can record your dungeons while you're in the game, and then you can play them back. You have like 3 little save slots to save the dungeon run on your system, and you can lock them, or you can have them set up to be reused or what have you. What's cool about that is when you play them back, you can change the vantage point of the players to a different player, to a different NPC, to the boss or whatever. So if you're run through this dungeon here or this raid, and you want to see how you did or how another player did, you can record it and then play it back.
Oh, cool!
It kind of sounds like how Overwatch it sounds like that same tech to where they can replay it from any angle. That's pretty cool.
Yes, just keep in mind that that it sort of goes away on patches.
Okay, so it seems like a less obnoxious recount.
Or it could be more obnoxious if you really want to.
Be a jerk about it.
Yeah, if you want to be a jerk about it and say, "Oh no, you kept on telling me you weren't standing in the fire, but you were standing in the fire. I see it because I recorded it." Ha!
Or you want to see
50 minus.
You want to see things from the vantage point of the boss you just ran over.
That's a fun idea.
Yeah, I always want to know what that big gigantic dragon vantage point of fearing like the little Lalafell tank come for him. Okay. Also new in the patch was the Glamour Commode. Now that's another joke.
Oh my god.
That was the original name for it.
This game is poo.
But then someone other than Google Translate came along and says, that's not right. Let's rename that thing for the English-speaking people, so we have the Glamour Dresser instead.
That's much better.
But yeah, it was when it was originally announced, but it wasn't translated yet. The literal translation was the Commode.
Oh, that's amazing.
So there must be some part of the Japanese culture that I do not understand with that yet.
Well, it's everything is a lot smaller. They kind of compact every possible thing into one, like especially the small apartments. So their bathroom is a lot smaller, and it has all this extra stuff going on, and they've got the bidets and all that kind of crazy stuff. So it kind of makes sense.
Maybe the dressing table in the bathroom, or the dresser is the
counter.
Is
the toilet.
Well, I mean, you get the mirror and the lights and everything. That's where, I mean, they don't like having redundant stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because they need that space is at a premium. So
totally.
Yeah. All right. So, but it lets you store cosmetic items, but the item sort of like disappears into the ether when you put them in there. But it allows you to take that item and reapply to something else, and then you can set up sets in there and do some fun things with that.
Yeah, I spent way too much time a couple weeks ago just sitting and just glamorizing everything, because I kept so many pieces of gear. So I was like, one day I'd like to glamour into this. But so I had to basically stick it away on my retainer, and it just sat there forever because you'd forget about it. Well, now you just take that piece, glamorize it, it's out of your way. Now you can just say, add it, and it's good. So
great.
All right. So there's a few other things, but those are the highlights of the last patch. So coming up real soon, as in this week.
Oh wow!
Maybe,
okay, not TM.
Maybe not. We never know. But we're thinking this week we're going to be getting patch 4.25. We're at 4.2. This is the sort of interim patch between 4.2 and 4.3. The big things in this one was going to be getting some more Hildebrand quests.
Yay!
So that's the
awesome.
That's the more comical quest line. Very silly.
Yes. And honestly, the little bit they gave us in 4.2 was such a tease. It was such a small little snippet. You could tell they were setting something up, but yeah, definitely ready for the next one.
Yeah, it's almost treated like a comedy anime / Saturday cartoon type of thing going on.
Oh yes.
Complete with like its own little theme song and little trailer that they do at the end of each episode per se.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're allowed to do stuff that just doesn't happen in the game. The game is so very serious and we're at war. We're trying to fight gods and demons and stuff like that. And then you go over to Hildebrand and it's like, oh, he just got smacked in the head with a pan. He just flew half a mile away, and they have a really funny facial animation system. I mean, much like WoW does. The faces they make in this though are just like they're breaking stuff because it's very common.
Yeah, that's well, now to be fair with all that, the laws of physics do not apply when you're the world's greatest detective.
No. The laws of no laws, honestly.
All right, so that's happening. Cool. Please look forward to that. The Forbidden Land. So the best way to explain this is for those who played Final Fantasy XI, having relatively open zones, and going out and finding notorious monsters that you really don't know what they're going to be. That's the closest thing that we're going to see in this new zone here. So the Forbidden Land is a new gameplay thing in the game that's going to be introduced. They're going to allow 144 players per zone, and then once the 145th player logs in there, it's going to spawn off a new instance, and then that instance will fill up and so forth. It's going to have a separate leveling and progression in there, so it's almost like separated from the rest of the game. But there are some rewards that you'll take out. We haven't seen too much of what the rewards are yet, but we're thinking there's going to be some weapons involved. There will be some monsters that will require 1, 2, or multiple groups to take down in there. It's going to feel open world-ish, but just keep in mind that there's a 144 player limit. So you may have multiple instances of that, but you won't be able to zerg down the bosses, but you'll find people can randomly show up in your instance.
Okay? Right, yeah.
And you'll have like a different leveling set. There's a little materia grid you need to fill out for when you're in there, and to help take you down the larger bad guys in those things for rewards. Within the guild here, we still have the Friday Fun Nights happening. It's similar to the mandatory Fun Night. Again, the attendance Content is not mandatory, but the fun is. But ours is on Friday, so we call it the F4N. It's the Final Fantasy Friday Fun Night.
Perfect.
Because that's the alliteration. Pretty much come as you are, and we'll find the content that we can run together. Don't worry about, I don't want to come because I don't have super gear, or even, I don't want to come because I had to, I'm not max level. Who cares?
Right.
Show up, we find common content. Believe it or not, there are rewards that the max level players get by helping new players.
Yep.
So by you being a new
Which is
player,
always good.
By you being a new player, someone who has not max level, someone who's still going through the first time through the game, the end game players benefit by them helping you. So please, we want to help you because it helps us, and B, we want to help you too, so you can get to that point, so you can help the next generation of players coming into the game.
Yep.
It's a vicious cycle, but we want to help each other out.
Yep, and little Chloe is counting on us. She wants to fill those books.
Yeah. Why do all the stamps require violence? Well, there's some questions we just don't ask.
Yes.
All right. Other AIE news. Just general reminder out there. Members can activate the free company buffs now. So the officers are making sure that we have a vast selection of buffs available to kick off. So if you notice the buffs are down, feel free to just click on them and hit activate actions. All right. We do have some endgame teams forming up. So it's like similar groups. The similar AIE rating mantra is AIE is not a rating team. It's not a rating guild, but we do have people in the guild who do raid. So it is a separate entity, but it is primarily for AIE players. Please reach out to myself or Duras if you have any details on that, such as expectations and things like that. But we do have people who are interested in the more challenging content. We do have that facility for you. All right. And getting started in the game, still not a problem. Jump on in. We'd love to have you. Getting the game, as at the time of this recording, and this may change, we are recording at approximately 8:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 3/11/2018. There is a sale for the PC, Mac, and PS4 players of the game on the Square Enix store and the Steam's. I'm sorry, not Steam, but the PSN store and the Square Enix store. There is a game, the complete edition or the expansion are 50% off. So $60 down to $30 for the complete edition. But if you already have the game, Stormblood is included in the base game, by the way. Now, I'm sorry, the other one, Heaven's Word. I shouldn't ask that right either. It's when you get the base game, it's 0 through 50, and once you buy Stormblood, you also get the first expansion, Heaven's Word, with it. So if you have the game in any through any medium on there, buying Stormblood gets you all the expansions. If you need that, that's normally $40. That's down to $20. So $30 to get the whole thing, $20 if you already have part of the game.
Yep.
Okay. And is this the confusing thing where you can play it on the PC, but if you buy it through Steam, it's a different account than the separate PC one?
Steam is considered a console now.
Yes.
So PC is PC. Steam is the Steam, but like a console. PS4 is its own console. I don't know if there is an Xbox version, but Mac is also considered its own console kind of thing.
Okay. But they're all able to interact in the free company.
They all connect to the same place. Yep.
Yeah, okay. So they all connect to the same place. You just need a license to log on that platform. But a single sub will cover everything that you have a license to log on with. So I play my PC primarily, but I do have, and I was playing around there, but then I realized my PS4 plays the game better than my laptop. And when I go out on long trips, I take my PlayStation 4 with me. And I can now, and then I purchased the Final Fantasy license on there, but I'm only paying a single subscription fee because both my PS license and my PC license are logged into are on the same account, so they know that I can log on to either one, and my characters go back and forth. And it's a single sub goes between the two. That also means I can't log on with my PC and PlayStation at the same time.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
But
And the game is really well designed for controllers. Even if you're on the PC, the controller works wonderfully on the PC. So if you're a console player that likes the joysticks or the game pads, this game would still be great for you. It works wonderfully for it. They did a good job when they redesigned it to make it match.
Conversely, if I'm a keyboard and mouse player forever, but I don't want to spend $1,000 on a gaming PC. I only got my PlayStation 4 because that's all I got room for in my life at this point in time. No problem. Plug your keyboard, plug your mouse into your PlayStation, and away you go.
Yep.
Exactly as for sitting down at the computer.
Yep, they left it all in there. It's just a little switch to go back and forth between controller and keyboard mouse.
Yep. And you can do the entirety of the game through keyboard and mouse. The only thing you can't. Well, actually, no. You can actually navigate the PlayStation menus through the keyboard and mouse. So that's not stopping you either.
Yep.
All right. Just check this score. Any? See, make sure there's any questions that I missed.
I don't think so. It sounds
Game
about
updates.
No, I think you
are.
Comments on your forehead, and I was counting nose hairs.
You really didn't want to do that.
And that's the last time we had to have a van on. Thanks, McCullough.
This is why we put both the video edition and the audio edition available for download, just in case people do or don't want to see this sort of crap.
Exactly. But they do get to hear us giving you a bad time about it.
Yes.
They're missing, however, the chat room.
Yes, they are missing the chat room.
Yes.
Please come with the chat room, guys. It's awesome.
Yes, it definitely is. All right. So, do we have anything else to report tonight, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just come play. Check out the Final Fantasy 14 channel in Discord. It's very active.
Yep.
And we're always looking, even if it's not moving. I keep it open at work as much as I can, as long as I'm not like doing a presentation or lifting heavy objects. If you post something there, I probably will see it.
Awesome.
Yep, same here. And if you need help somewhere, ping us. If you want to be invited, because there's a lot of benefits. If you don't have an account yet, you can go ahead and have someone invite you. Lots of good benefits to get it. Lots of bonuses, lots of free gear.
Guildies with benefits. Got it.
Yes, definitely.
We're on the Goblin server. Goblin.
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 We
have the Road to 60 buff. So if you roll a new character,
yes.
As of right now, it updates every Tuesday. But if you roll one right now, you get a 300% experience bonus.
Yes.
Hooah!
Yep, you can get to end cut 10 even faster, or at least you can get to Stormblood faster.
You get it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. What it really helps you do is if you aren't sure what class you want to do, you can basically level multiple classes at once, and they'll still be able to get enough experience to keep up with the main story, because the main story is definitely level locked. So if you don't have at least one class at level whatever, it's not going to let you start the next one. So you just go level up. But with that experience bonus, that's no problem. You can have multiple accounts. You can have a tank, a healer, a DPS, and still level right through it until you get to 60, because that's when it ends. So by 60, you need to kind of figure things out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll help you. We'll help you.
Yeah. You guys are all very helpful and with advice and help our guildies.
We know too much.
You game and you know things?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, we do.
And in Apple's case, drinking and knowing things. Anyways, all right. So that is our show for this evening. While the chat room start suggesting show titles, I want to thank Abavan for joining us. And we do have a shout out for our favorite STO news reporter, Captain Sybil, who's been dealing with a bad case of real life lately. We sure missed the news, but she was able to join us for the chat room tonight, and we sure do appreciate that.
Indeed. Yeah, it's always fun watching Macaulay try to pronounce everything in STO.
Yeah, right. No, it was much easier. That I did not miss. However, I always miss Sybil's notes because she does a great job at keeping us posted on exactly what's going on.
Indeed.
And if you have questions or comments about our show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can also follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. Mew is at the Mew Cow. McCullough is at Cyberwave, and I am at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video, which you really need to see some weeks, every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us on our website, aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream. And our Discord server for chat, which is also amazing, is bit.ly/AIE Podcast Discord. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, keyswithsoul.com.
And now it's time to play great AIE member segments that we've received this week, including something called All-Itis from some guy named Yukao.
Hack.
Yep.
All right. And just a quick program note, due to travel and Easter, we're going to be taking a month off. We'll return on April 8th. So until then, AIE.
This is Mukau.
This is Tetsemi.
This is Makala. And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yay!
Bye!
So, what do you think, Abo, of the title Game Updates with Abo's Forehead?
No, we're not doing these. I'm putting them in here for posterity.
We're not using these
on Abo.
It would be a pretty good thumbnail.
FF excellent.
Well, that I can edit.
Maybe put like a little. I lost internet.
No, I see you.
No, you're here.
Okay, I saw you just freeze. I got like a nice little.
That's my internet.
Yeah, that's their internet.
Yeah,
it happens from time to time.
Yeah,
there's two of them sharing one pipe.
Yeah, I guess that happens when you don't have gigabit internet.
Correct.
Yeah, it's nice not to have to worry about when I have. Well, we cut our cable, so everything here is streaming, and my life is online, and everything. I'm like watching. I'm watching sports on my phone. I have another sport on my iPad. I'm playing games here. I have baby cams going on here. My wife is watching Real Housewives of I Don't Give a Crap County.
Yeah,
that's the best county. That's the best version of that show.
It's funny. I'll have Overwatch League going up on my TV up here, and then on this laptop here, I'll have Perception Check, which is a D&D game on Hyper RPG, a lot like Critical Role. And then I'll be playing a game on this screen, and then I'll have my Discord over here, and it's just there's a lot going on, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this without the gigabit going on.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
We should take a moment to talk about Overwatch. It's to me as a sporty guy, I'm very much intrigued by it. I'm very intrigued by it. Yeah, the Overwatch League. Now, given me, sporty Philly guy, I already have my allegiance, but the whole league is, from a sports perspective, is very intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're going for
they modeled it after Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA. They basically, when you have to pay $20 million to buy in and get a team, you're investing in something. So yeah.
And those same owners that own the NBA and the NFL and whatnot, they're some of the same people that own the Overwatch League. So they already know how they're expected to treat this thing.
Yeah, I mean, for the Philly team, it's the Flyers organization, which is really Comcast Spectacor.
Yeah.
They didn't even change the colors.
No. Nope.
And they actually advertise the
easier.
league at the Flyers games.
Yeah. Well, you can just wear a shirt that just says Philly and then it has the right colors, and you don't have to worry about it. You just show up.
There you go. Yeah.
But I already spent $80 per team. So I have my jerseys upstairs.
Yep. Yeah, but unfortunately, Austin didn't make the cut. But it seems like Austin is rooting for Houston, so it's been interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and Houston, it's South by Southwest this week. Mm-hmm. So actually, like the Houston team is actually here, or at least parts of it are here. So they're actually like saying, "Hey, we want you to officially like." They're trying to reach out to us before Dallas does, but that's kind of funny. It's no one wants to touch Dallas right now. Dallas Fuel. There's too much going on there.
Yeah.
Well, they just announced they had a mutual agreement and they let QXC go.
Really?
He's off the team.
I was expecting that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, they announced there were 3 people that got fined $1,000. One for account sharing, one for behavior on the stream, and then I forget what the third one was, but yeah, QXC got according to Dallas Fuel mutually released.
Yeah,
So,
I can see that. I was expecting that, honestly.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, this was what, second or third time? It's like
this is his second. Well, it was the second time, and then he still basically started saying, "Well, I don't care. I'm going to keep acting this way." So he basically kind of did a third strike in the middle of the second strike.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So.
Yeah. Well, you learn if you want to make. You're not playing for themselves. You're playing for someone else.
Well, and not to mention.
You can't act like an idiot.
No, and that's the thing is that he kind of encouraged his troll army to. The whole reason why he got the second suspension was because of that try hard 7 thing he was doing. Well, he told them,
but it was against Malik for play. That was the bad thing.
Yeah, and then if you watched the Overwatch League this weekend and made the mistake of opening up the chat window, it was just bots just going crazy doing that. So they had to cut ties. That was just too much.
Yeah, exactly.
No, well, as a rule, I try to, unless it's like a small streamer, like anything under 25 people, you turn off. Yeah, you turn off chat.
Every now and then, just to amuse myself, I'll open it just to see it scroll by. Like you can't even read it because it's just going so fast. But it's like, it's worthless at that point. Like, why do they bother having it open?
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Anyway, well, I think Max actually has a good one. We can call it FF Excellent. If we want to use that for a show title.
We can do that. That's not based around me. It's based around. It should not be based around me. I am not the star. The game is.
No, I know, but
is the star. I am not the star. The show title should not be about me.
You can blame.
Oh, please.
Yeah, you can blame Arv and Apples, though, and we should have come to expect it, right?
Is that Apples or is that Abovan? I can't tell.
Look for the ones that say something in
Apples.
French, and then you know that is not me.
No, that was being silly. I was calling back to the beginning of the episode.
Yes.
Me, I do not.
Exactly.
If you want to know the difference between Apples and Abovan, one speaks French on a regular basis and does French Facebook posts that I just say, "Oh, that's pretty cool."
Translate.
Google Translate.
Exactly.
And don't say commode.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the broadcast off. We will see you later, chat room. 1 month. We will be back April 8th.
Yep. Thank you very much for your understanding.
Have a good one. Bye.